What's up people, Roscoe here. We're talking about gear. It's kind of boring to talk about unless you're an absolute nerd like myself, but it's expensive and you should be investing in the right gear in the right places. And we're gonna talk a little bit about that today, where you can skimp or where you need to drop the big bucks in order to have the best experience on the mountain, dress like a pro, ride like a pro. If you look good, you feel good, you ride good, you are good. So we've been rolling with 509 for 10 years. It's a long time. The gear has come a long ways. The company has come a super long ways. They've exploded. They are a staple in the industry. And these are some of the reasons that I choose that gear. And this is the stuff that I choose to wear. And we're gonna talk about, what's important. And starting with the number one thing, that's your head. If you're riding a $25,000 snowmobile, a brand new snowmobile out there, and you're not investing in your helmet as well, I'm mad at you. Now, this is the 509 Altitude 2.0 in carbon fiber. It does have MIPS, so that is the rotational impact protection. And this is something that you guys should be investing in. It's something you should be upgrading regularly. And if you hit your head, if you smoke your head on something, you should be replacing your helmet because they are not they don't last forever, right? They pack out the foam cracks and they're designed to be wear items. So continue to invest in your helmet. My choice is this. I only wear the best from 509 and I believe you should too. Now on the Altitude 2.0, it comes with a few things that if you're a mountain rider, you actually need to adjust for. So that first thing being this breath box right here. There's two snaps and it's the first thing that I take out. You're working hard when you're riding mountain sleds, so you need to be able to evacuate all that hot air. So you can pull this breath box out, and a lot of times I'll even pull this bottom skirt out as well. When you pull those two out, you'll notice that there is, even in the nose guard, there's extra ventilation block. So we take all that out, and I just run a neck gaiter or a face mask when it's cold. But most of the time when I'm riding, I want as much breathability as I can. That also is gonna help you guys not fog goggles. If you fog goggles, you need to start looking at your helmet do you have a good seal around your eyes? Are you getting enough exhaust out as you're working? And those are a few things as well. Great feature on the Altitude 2.0, we have some vents here that are easy clicks and pretty simple, but great helmet. They've spent a long time on this and gone through a lot of helmets to get to this point. So this is what I wear every day on my moto and then also on the sled, of course. So carbon fiber 2.0, lightweight. It's a pretty penny, but you'll be happy you invested in that. And then I highly suggest that you pair that helmet with a pair of 509 goggles because they are designed to work together. You're gonna get the best seal with those goggles. Now, depending on your face shape is actually how you should select your goggles. The way my nose is built, the new Sinister X7s actually restrict my ability to breathe through my nose. So I run the Aviator 2.0s or I actually kind of carve out the nose foam on the X7s because of the way my face is built. So that's a little pro tip for you guys. Next thing is your outerwear. Now, if you're a mountain rider, you should not be insulating that heavily underneath. Some guys will run a little bit of insulation. I always run the hard shells. So this is the new Ether mono suit. It got a redesign this year and it is a Sympatex 25K and 40K combo of waterproofing. It's about the best there is in the business as far as waterproof rating goes. And it is a full shell. You see there is a little drop-in liner here, which I'm not a huge fan of the drop-in liner, but it does kind of it does make this piece last longer for you. It's gonna cut down on friction and just kind of help this garment not wear so bad in these high wear areas. They also have a 60D, 600D in the knees and around the ankles here. So this is really, really heavy duty stuff in these high wear areas. Every year I put holes in my pants in the knees and ankle area just from how sharp running boards are. So these are super burly, ton of features on this thing. And it's gonna be one of my go-tos this year as the redesigned Ether. They also redesigned the Ether two-piece, so that's the bibs and the jacket. The redesign on the Ether isn't my favorite personally, and sometimes that's how it goes. You don't get a redesign in your favor because of certain things that you like. So finding gear that you like is really important. When I spend as much time on the snow as I do, you figure out what you like and what you don't like. So I'll be rocking the Ether one piece a little bit more than the two piece this year just because of some feature changes, but they obviously did those feature changes for a certain rider, right? Not everything is perfect for all of us. As far as two pieces go, we have this actually last year's set of Stoke bibs. And the reason I'm showing you guys this is just to kind of show some of the wear. I do have a little hole in the knee here that's easily repaired with a Gore-Tex pouch or a Gore-Tex patch or just a waterproof patch you can get anywhere. These are zippable, so you can run them as a pant as well. But this is a different fabric than the Ether. This is the 5-Tech fabric from 509. So we'll open up a leg, and as you can see, there's no drop-in liner, which I really like about this. So no drop-in liner. There's a little bit of stretch in this. It's a two-way stretch material. And this is also a very, very high-performing pant. These are the two top models that 509 makes. And you will also see me wearing the Stoke gear from 509 quite a bit as well. The only downside on the Stoke, just being completely transparent with you guys, is the brighter colorways. If you get the red pants or the buckhorn pants that I wore last year, in a really, really wet day, as those pants start to wear, the DWR coating, which is the coating that helps repel water, will kind of wear off. Now, the pants will actually, and the jacket itself, will appear to be a little bit wet, but you won't be wet on the inside. The fabric on the outside will just appear wet. So those brighter colors will actually, you know, when you get something wet that's a bright color, it changes the color a little bit. So that's the only thing to consider when choosing the Stoke stuff. So you can kind of get that look of like, oh, it's wet, but you won't be wet on the inside unless you actually do rip the jacket or the pants. Now, talking about the difference between should I wear a one piece or should I wear a two piece? This is what I always say. If you are fortunate enough to be able to have multiple sets of gear, I always choose a one piece as my second set. The main reason being is that if I rip a hole in this thing on a running board or whatever, it gets wild out there, this piece needs to be repaired and is done for a period of time. Whereas if I rip a hole in my pants, I don't have to go get a full new one piece. I can just replace my pants or just repair those pants. So that's what I consider when talking about two piece or one piece. It comes down to comfort as well. The one piece is really nice because you have nothing around your waist. You're just minimizing those layers around your waist and those high stress and friction areas. So something to consider when you're choosing, do I go one piece, do I go two piece? That's what I think of a lot. We'll talk about boots next. These are the Raid Boas from 509. They do make a single boa in this boot as well. This is my go-to boot, and they do need a little bit of break-in time, but with the dual boa, what that does is it allows you to tighten around your foot and also up high on the ankle quite a bit. This is just a go-to boot. They've done a great job with their hyper grip on the bottom here. It lasts a semi amount of time on the bottom. The problem is if you put too firm of sole on your boots, you're gonna be sliding all over the running boards. Yeah, they're gonna last you a long time, but grip on your running boards is very important. So you will get some wear out of these soles, but they do offer a lot of grip. So they found a pretty good middle ground as far as the Raid Boa. If you haven't tried the Raid Boa in a few years, just recently they did get an upgrade. They offer a little bit more ankle support, and it's a great boot for all riders. Me personally, I would love a even stiffer boot for mountain riding, but I am not the general consumer. So this is the boot that 99% of guys are asking for, and they've done a great job executing on this boot. Pretty warm. I think it has 400 grams of insulation in it, whereas their other boot has only 200. I get cold feet, so this is the boot that I always wear, and always wear a big sock with it as well to, keep some extra heat in. Next is gloves. Now this is an item that I used to go through so many gloves, and it was like on my order every year I would have like 8 pairs of gloves. Since they introduced the Stoke glove last year, this has been my favorite glove. I still wear my sample Stoke gloves from 2 years ago. I tested these gloves, and what's beautiful about them is they aren't fully waterproof, and I actually like that for a number of reasons. They're a leather palm with a leather outside, and I actually will wax these gloves and condition them with leather conditioner, and as they break in, they only get better. They also have a small merino wool liner. The beautiful thing about wool is as it gets wet, it will still stay warm. So I've had days when it's soaking wet and my hands, yeah, they are wet, but I still have good grip on the bars and they're still warm even though these gloves are wet. So I have a couple pair of these, and I actually have a lot of pair of these now because I kept ordering them thinking I would wear them out, and they've lasted me a long time. So the Stoke glove is something that you guys should invest in. It's a light to medium weight glove. My hands also run cold, so I need a glove that will give me a little bit of warmth, and I wear these 95% of the time. So aside from my Stoke gloves, I carry a lot of different combinations of gloves depending on the year, depending on the time of year, I should say. Now, this is the new trigger finger mitt from 509. This glove will last me a long time. Last year, they came out with this version, which is a cuffed version. I'm not a huge fan of the cuffed gloves just because I actually feel like they are harder to get on and off and situated. However, when it's super deep and cold, this is the best option, is a long cuffed glove. You'll see Keith Curtis on the race course in long cuffed gloves, winning championships. The dude's insane. But I don't know why he does that, he just does it. So this is the new trigger finger mitt. This will actually just pretty much stay in my backpack as a safety glove. And it will also be my go home on the trail, ride into a zone with these, but I'm not gonna do any super aggressive riding with these, just kind of getting in and out, keeping my hands warm, because my hands do run cold. So I'll condition these, wax them, leather conditioner, and these will be a great glove for a long time to come. The other option, when it's really cold and bad, December, January, February, this is the Ignite glove from 509. It just got a redesign, so you can literally control this thing with your smartphone. I probably won't do that because it's just a little bit too much for me, but these are amazing gloves. I still have my old set that I wore for 2 or 3 years, and these will keep your hands warm. They'll heat them up. Going home, I will turn them on high and just roll down the trail and be very happy and comfortable. So a big investment on these. They're very expensive, but man, they are certainly nice when you're in those certain conditions. So really looking at the entire lineup of the 509 Ignite series, heated goggles, heated gloves, they have heated socks. They have this jacket in a heated version as well. So it's really cool technology, and the gloves and the goggles are probably my 2 highest rated items that I use. When it's snowing, raining, bad conditions, the 509 Ignited goggles are something that you cannot beat. They do not fog, they do not ice over, and they will save you and make a really bad weather day a lot more bearable. So that's something to look into investment-wise, is a pair of Ignite gloves or goggles, whatever you need. The goggles are insane as well. I don't have a set here right now, but they're something that you guys should consider investing in. So let's go back to kind of our layering system. Like I said, being a mountain rider, you are going to work up some heat, and this is the merino wool layer from 509. The other great thing about wool, not only does it stay warmer when it is wet, but it also doesn't stink like a poly does. So a synthetic material will start to stink, and just over time, if you don't wash your stuff, it just won't be as good. Whereas the wool is naturally kind of antimicrobial, stink, and very comfortable. So I wear a base layer wool every single day. This is the new party suit from 509. As you can see, it's a full one-piece suit, which is a nice feature because it just simply doesn't add pressure around your waistband. We have backpacks, multiple layers, just kind of keeping that pressure off your waist is just gonna lend to a more comfortable day. So this is gonna be my go-to all winter as a base layer. 509 also makes a hooded version that I do wear quite a bit. The only downside of the hooded version is when you do put the hood on, it will start to get wet and that moisture will seep down into your kind of base layer area. So depending on the day, I will opt away from that hooded version. Usually I don't wear the hooded version up. I usually just wear it down and it adds a little bit of height around my neck for just a little bit more warmth. So that's also something to consider in the layering department. Overall, too many options. Check out the 509 website, figure out what works best for you. Leave a question in the comments below for you guys that need more information. We'll make another video 2.0. What do we need to address to make you guys successful on the mountain? That's all I got for you today. We'll see you next time.